everyone, and welcome back to the English Easy podcast for a better life. I'm Emma, and as always, I'm joined by my fantastic co-host, George. How are you doing today, George?
Hey, Emma. I'm doing great, feeling energized and ready for today's topic. How about you?
I'm doing well too. Today, we're tackling something that is simultaneously the simplest and most terrifying thing for a language learner. The self-introduction. Tell me about yourself. Those 4 words can cause more panic than a fire alarm.
It's a real paradox. You are the world's leading expert on you. You've known the subject your whole life, but the moment you need to present that subject in English, it feels like your brain files for divorce and leaves you with nothing.
Exactly. Every learner hits this wall. You move beyond, "Hello, my name is," and suddenly you're in a vast, confusing landscape. A job interview, a networking event, a new class, a language app chat. The rules seem different every time.
So today, we're not giving you a single script. If you memorize one script and the situation changes even a little, the script crumbles. Instead, we're going to build your personal introduction toolkit.
Think of it like chef's training. We won't give you one frozen meal. We'll teach you how to use knives, pots, pans, and basic recipes so you can cook anything. Our goal is to move you from sounding like a recorded announcement to having a real, authentic human connection.
Connection. That's the magic word. Let's start by understanding why this feels so awkward. Emma, why does our brain freeze?
Okay, let's put on our psychologist hats. It's usually a perfect storm of 3 things. First, cognitive overload. You're trying to manage pronunciation, grammar, word choice, listening to the other person, reading their face. It's too much for your brain's working memory. It just shuts down.
Second, the performance myth. You feel like you're on a stage being judged on every syllable instead of just having a chat. And third, the fluency illusion. You might write beautifully, but spontaneous speaking is a different, faster brain system. The pressure to be quick makes you slow.
There's a cultural layer too, George. In some cultures, you list titles and achievements formally. In others, you're very modest. In many English-speaking professional and social situations, the tone is informally professional. It's a balance. You're competent but approachable.
So the first biggest mindset shift is this. Stop thinking of it as a performance. Start thinking of it as an offer. You are offering a small, interesting piece of yourself to another person to see if there's a click. It's an invitation to connect, not a report to be graded.
That shift in thinking is everything. It takes the pressure off. You're not being tested, you're sharing.
I had the same shift happen to me, actually. The first time I introduced myself in English at a big conference, I was so nervous. I tried to sound impressive, using the biggest words, constructing perfect, complex sentences in my head before I said them.
How did that go?
Honestly, it was a disaster. I sounded stiff and unnatural. Nobody asked me a follow-up question. I just stood there awkwardly. The next year, I decided to change one thing. I focused on being genuine, not impressive. I said something like, I work in media, and I'm still learning how to explain complex ideas in a simple way.
And what happened?
That simple, honest sentence opened 10 different conversations. People said, "Oh, me too," or "What kind of complex ideas?" It was the same level of English, but a completely different intention, from performing to connecting. The result was night and day.
That's a perfect example. Now, before we build the good habits, let's expose the bad ones. George, what are the subtle things that make an introduction feel awkward or unnatural?
We call them the 5 silent killers. They're not grammar mistakes. They're habit mistakes. Killer number 1, the information dump. Exactly. You just transfer data like a robot. It's overwhelming and totally forgettable. The listener's eyes glaze over. The fix is to curate, not list. Choose only what's relevant to this moment.
This reminds me of something that happened to me years ago. I was at an international workshop for teachers, and a learner introduced himself to the whole group. For a full 2 minutes, he listed everything: his university degree, his exact GPA, his entire job history, every certification. It was a monologue of facts.
I can imagine.
5 minutes later, I realized I remembered nothing specific about him, except that he talked for a long time. He was just a blur of data. Later that same day, another learner was asked to introduce herself. She simply said, "I work in IT support, but honestly, what I enjoy most is helping non-technical people feel less afraid of technology."
That's brilliant.
Right? I remember her face, her smile, and that exact sentence. Same English level, same event, completely different impact. She curated one powerful idea instead of listing 50 facts. That's the power of curate, don't list.
Killer number 2, the confidence leak. This is verbal and physical, saying things like, I'm not very good at this, or sorry for my English, before you even start.
Or physically, looking at your shoes, a weak voice, no smile. It tells people to expect less from you. The fix is power priming. Before you go in, stand tall, take a deep breath, and tell yourself, "I have a perspective worth hearing." Your language level is separate from your value.
Killer. Number 3, the rigid script trap, having one perfect paragraph memorized. Life isn't a script. What if someone asks a question in the middle, the script breaks and you're lost? We need flexible modules, not a monolith.
Killer number 4 is a big one. The apology loop. Sorry for my English. We know it comes from politeness, but it's destructive. It makes your language the topic, not your ideas. It makes the other person comfort you instead of engaging with you.
If you make a mistake, just correct it lightly and keep going, or ignore it. The goal is understanding, not perfection. Which leads us to killer number 5, the passive voice of life.
Using language that removes you from your own story. Saying, "I was given the opportunity," instead of, "I moved to London for an exciting project," or "My hobbies are reading," instead of, "I love getting lost in a good book." It sounds impersonal.
So the antidote to all these killers, our golden rule, Emma.
Connection over comprehension. Your primary goal is not to show off fancy vocabulary. It is to establish a human connection, a tiny spark. That spark makes people remember you, like you, and want to talk more.
Who would you rather talk to? Someone who recites a flawless CV, or someone who smiles, says a couple of clear, interesting things, and then asks you a question?
The second person, always. They get it. So, let's build the framework that makes you that person. We call it the NCHQ framework, your blueprint for any situation. It's 4 modules you can mix and match. N, name and greeting. Simple. But say your name clearly, a bit slower. Hi, I'm Emma. You can add a friendly hook. Just call me M.
C. Context. This is the most important one. It answers the silent question, why are we talking? Tailor it tightly. At a conference? I'm here for the AI talks. On a video call? I'm on the logistics team for this project. On a language app? I'm looking to practice my conversational English.
H. Human detail. This is your secret weapon, one specific, authentic glimpse into who you are. Don't list a hobby, illustrate it. Don't say, I like travel. Say, I'm a bit of a travel planner. My friends always make me organize the trips.
And finally, Q. Question. The bridge to a dialogue. Pass the conversational ball. How about you? What brings you here? What's your take on this topic?
Now, before we see this framework in action, let's pause and look at some very common structural mistakes learners make when building their introduction.
Mistake number 1. Translating directly from your native language. The sentence structure in your language might be beautiful, but when translated word for word into English, it can sound unnatural, formal, or even confusing. You need to think in English phrases, not translated words.
Mistake number 2, trying to sound advanced instead of trying to sound clear. Using a long, complicated sentence you found in a dictionary is risky. If you hesitate or mispronounce, the whole sentence collapses. A short, clear sentence delivered with confidence is infinitely more powerful.
And mistake number 3. Thinking your introduction has to be perfect the first time. Native speakers don't do this. They adjust their introductions constantly. I'm a designer, well, more of a UX strategist, really. You are allowed to adapt, clarify, and be human. Fluency is about flow, not perfection.
Perfectly said. Now, with those common mistakes in mind, let's see the NCHQ framework applied cleanly. Imagine a scenario, a company social event. You're talking to someone from another department.
Okay. Switches to a conversational tone. Hi, I'm George. I work in the podcast production team, N+C. Honestly, after editing audio all day, it's nice to be at a party where I don't have to wear headphones. H. Relatable, humorous detail. How about you? Which department are you with? Q.
Perfect. See how that flows? It's not a script, it's a structure. Now, a tougher one, the classic job interview question, tell me about yourself.
The big one. Adopts a professional, calm tone. Certainly, I'm a project manager with about 10 years of experience in the tech industry, specifically in launching mobile apps. N/C. I've always been fascinated by the user experience side of things, not just if the app works, but if people actually enjoy using it. That's what drew me to this role at your company. H. Passion linked to the job. I'd love to hear more about the key challenges your UX team is focusing on right now. Q. Strategic. Shifts to them.
You turned a monologue into a conversation starter. You showed why you do what you do. That's powerful.
But what about just everyday life, Emma? Like, you're at a cafe and someone asks what you're reading.
Great example. Oh, I'm Emma. I'm just killing time before my dentist appointment. C. casual context. I'm rereading this old mystery novel. It's my comfort food for the brain. Personal detail. Do you read much? Q.
It works everywhere. Now, once you have the framework, you can add advanced layers. Vocal tone. Smile while you talk. It warms your voice. Pace. Slow down on keywords. A pause is powerful, not awkward.
And my favorite advanced layer, the story snippet. Replace an abstract quality with a one-sentence story. Instead of "I'm a problem solver," say, "Last week I fixed our broken coffee machine with a paperclip and sheer determination." It's memorable.
But theory is useless without practice. So, here is our 21-day introduction challenge.
Weeks 1 and 2, foundation. Days 1 to 3. Just practice name and context for different scenarios. Days 4 to 7. Add one human detail. Say it out loud. Record yourself on your phone. Does it sound like a list or a real person? Days 8 to 14. Practice the full NCHQ chain in front of a mirror.
Week 3. Real world. Days 15 to 18. Low stakes practice. Use it with a barista, a new neighbor, on a language app. Your goal isn't perfection, it's using the framework. Days 19 to 21. Review. Listen to an old recording. What's better? Watch a TV show meet cute and analyze how they introduce themselves.
And after the introduction, the follow-up is key. Use the R method. A. Anchor on something they said. "You're from Rome? I visited last year." R. Reveal a related bit about you. "The food was incredible. I'm a huge foodie." E. Encourage with a new question. "What's the one dish I absolutely have to try next time?"
Active listening is your superpower here. Nod. Say right. Interesting. Refer back to things they said earlier. It shows you're connected.
Finally, let's add some advanced phrases to your toolkit. To sound more natural, "Actually, I just started." Or, "These days, I'm mostly," to show passion. "I'm really fascinated by." Or, "In my free time, you'll usually find me."
And if you get a tough question, buy time gracefully. That's a great question. Let me think about that for a second. It's okay to pause.
So, to wrap up this masterclass, remember this. Introducing yourself in English is a skill, not a talent. It's a muscle you build. You will have awkward moments. You will forget a word. That is not failure. It's data for next time.
Start small. Aim for clarity and calm first. Then add one human detail. Then remember to ask a question. Step by step.
Your English right now is enough to begin. You have the framework. You have the understanding. Now, go practice being authentically you in English.
And that's everything for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and learned something new, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Because your support helps us create more helpful lessons for you.
Stay motivated, keep practicing, and we will see you in the next episode.